At the local churchyard, separated by birches and bird cherries, there are two mounds. One is not well groomed, with a creased cross and a plaque, which is lying on the ground. And the other, well groomed, loaded with flowers and wreaths from children and grandchildren. Who would have thought that the fates of the two friends Olivia and Lily, who used to be called inseparable, would turn out so differently? Did you run off to the river again? I told you to soak the potatoes in the garden. I know who did. Olivia again. Oh, you'll have grief with her. Mark my words. She's quick, she's sly, she's sneaky. What about you? She's a sly one. Which way she goes, which way you go. Why are you crying? Take your rag and go to the garden. So what if it gets dark? You'll be looking for grass by touch. Next time you'll remember how to walk while your mother is at work. That was her mother's way of reprimanding her delinquent daughter. Lily was quick with her hands. She knew her mother was resilient, and as soon as it got dark, she would come out and call her home for dinner. And why was she talking about Olivia like that? They had been friends since they were 5 and hardly ever fought. It's just little things. And they help each other with their studies. They're going to medical school together after high school. That was Lily's reasoning. Quickly cutting the grass around the bushes. Here comes the graduation. Olivia's the prettiest. She had an aunt who was a dressmaker in town. She made such an outfit that even the younger teachers sighed enviously. Lily herself was wearing her mother's wedding dress. It fit her slim, girlish figure. But the most important thing, of course, was the beads. They were amber. Her father had brought them back to her mother as a present when he returned home after his military service. It was a pity he was so young. He had appendicitis and had not been taken to hospital. Now he and Mom live alone. Mother spends the whole day around her calves, and Lily does the housework. Already all words of gratitude to teachers, parents, parting words to graduates have been said. The most important thing began, the dance. Lily spotted him first. A young guy in a sailor's uniform stood in the doorway and looked around. He was so handsome without his visor and his chub from under it that Lily literally froze. Olivia stumbled over her. Why are you standing there like a pillar? And she looked in the direction Lily had been staring at. Oh, what a boy. Olivia exhaled. I'm going to find out who that is. She elbowed everyone else and headed off that way. Lily stepped back against the wall. From there, she watched as Olivia whispered to Kate, and then they approached the boy together. A needle of jealousy pricked Lily's heart. For the first time, she wanted to push her friend away and go with this guy far away, where they would be all alone. But Olivia was already waltzing and laughing merrily at the sailor's jokes. Lily felt like crying her eyes out, like when she was a kid and her knee got smashed. She turned her head to the other side so she wouldn't have to see the dancing couple. And this is my friend Lily. Olivia's voice came over her ear. And this is Alex. Lily turned around slowly. The most beautiful eyes in the world were looking at her. Nice to meet you, Alex said, smiling, holding out his palm. Lily cautiously held out hers and lowered her eyes. Me too. The three of us went home. Alex talked merrily about the service. The girls laughed. He came here for the summer to Uncle Jack's farm. It was 2 kilometers from the village through the woods. They only saw Jack once a month, when he used to bring honey to the local groceries and go to the post office for newspapers and magazines. Lily lived closer than Olivia, so they saw her off first. Saying goodbye, she looked longingly after Alex and Olivia, who seemed to have grown closer together all at once. It was either the arrival of Alex or just a coincidence. But the girls' plans hadn't worked out the way they'd planned. Lily got sick, and her mom caught a cold and got sick. Now Lily was running to the calf in the mornings and evenings, and enrollment was out of the question this year. Olivia spent all her evenings with Alex. Rarely did she see her friend. But one day they met when a tired Lily was on her way home from work. How are you? Olivia asked. She was all dressed up, as you can see, pointed to Lily's boots, that your mother is so sick. Olivia asked indifferently. Yes, she hardly gets up. Where are you going all dressed up? Lily asked. I'm going out with Alex to a club, and then we'll stay up all night. The volume of the breakfast table was very low. She was looking around at the bathroom. I won't keep you, Lily sighed, and then she couldn't help herself. We used to go everywhere together, just the two of us. Olivia laughed. What's the matter, Lily? We're not in boy pants anymore. We have a future to think about. I'm going to school in a week. I see you're not. I'll stop by when I visit. Bye, girlfriend. I gotta go. She waved her hand and headed off toward the club. Lily walked home and swallowed bitter tears. She wanted to go to the club, to the dance, to the city too. She dreamed so much of becoming a nurse, but to leave her mother in that position. After all, she was her only and dear one. Autumn came. Nothing was heard from Olivia. Lily's mother was getting worse. How will you be without me, daughter? She cried. Lily smiled through her strength. Come on, Mommy, you're still going to babysit my kids. The mournful procession was gone, and Lily stood weeping, looking at the damp mound. Don't cry, there's nothing you can do for her now. A voice above her ear. Lily wiped her tears away with her handkerchief and turned around. Alex was standing beside her, stroking her shoulder in a sad sort of way. Such unexpected support made her sob all the more, and she curled up against his chest, and so their friendship was formed. He came to her for tea in the evenings, and they talked a great deal about everything. One day, Lily asked him cautiously about Olivia. He grimaced as if he had a toothache. You see, I don't have parents either. I lived in an orphanage. The only family I had was Uncle Jack, but they wouldn't let him take me in. But he used to come and bring me presents. So I came to see him after the army. And Olivia, I loved her. She told me straight out, come with me, we'll go together. I can't leave my uncle. He's got a big farm and he's not old anymore. He needs help, just like that. And then a bad rumor started spreading around the village that Lily had become promiscuous, taking in a single guy. You never know what they do behind closed doors. One day, Alex met her after work and went to walk her home. She accidentally stumbled, and he picked her up under his arm. The shameless ones aren't ashamed to walk around with their arms around each other. Lita, aren't you ashamed? Your mother must be shedding tears of shame in heaven. The neighbors spat at their feet. Lily broke free and ran home in tears. There she threw herself on her mother's bed and wept. Alex came in next and gently lifted her by the arms. Let's get married, so they wouldn't point a finger. Lily sobbed. What about Olivia? She asked. He looked her straight in the eyes. That's all in the past. And Olivia, she didn't get into high school, flunked chemistry, went to live with her aunt. Her aunt made her work at her atelier as a cleaner. But Olivia quickly became bored with the job. Endless scraps, threads, and no privacy. Her aunt had strict rules. She said no going out to the movies, no going out on a day off, no going out in the afternoon. I have a schedule. I go to bed at 9 sharp. She was like that until November, Olivia. She fought with her aunt, quit her job, and went home to the country. And there's the news. Alex is marrying Lily. She was burned like a nettle. Oh my God. He swore his love for her, but he's marrying someone else. Well, I'll give you a surprise, she said to herself and hid. They were celebrating on the farm. Uncle Jack looked younger. He liked Lily, the homemaker, the soulful one. A good wife his nephew had chosen. The table was rich. Uncle tried his best. Lily, in her prom dress, blushed thickly as the guests shouted bitterly. And then the door opened and Olivia walked in. Fake, smiling, she asked loudly, "Why wasn't I invited?" Lily flashed. "So we thought you were in town." Olivia walked over to the young ones and raised her shot glass. "Well, here's to the young ones," she gulped and said bitterly, and only Alex stood up, as she swept into him like a leech with a kiss. Everyone gasped, and Lily opened her eyes. She didn't realize what was going on, and Olivia took Alex's hand and pulled him behind her. She snickered, saying, "So, what are you guys up to? You've come for your own." The uncle jumped up and shouted, "Alex, wake up. Don't you dare," and collapsed on the bench. Lily looked as if she'd woken up and rushed over to him while they were pumping water out of him. Alex and Olivia left. The guests slowly drifted away, whispering, "I've put a spell on a boy. I mean a spell on him." Lily wasn't bothered by the guests. She sat beside Uncle Jack, falsely reassuring him. "He'll be back. You'll see. Feeling better? I'll go now." He hardly lifted his head and shouted to the whole house, "Where to? This is your house now, and I won't let that womanizer over the threshold. Live, daughter." And he cried. Lily cried, too. It's true what they say. Olivia's mother, when she found out what her daughter had done, kicked them out of the house, together with Alex. They went to the city, and Lily, after a month, it turned out that she was in a situation once after the proposal to get married was fruitful. Uncle Jack was over the moon. He was helping Lily with the twins. The boys grew up helping their mother and grandfather. They never asked about their father. They didn't want to upset their mother. They'd been told at school long ago that their father had left the wedding with someone else. What about Olivia and Alex? No, they weren't drunk and separated. Lived their whole lives in a little house on the edge of town. God never gave them kids, no matter how hard they tried. When Olivia became seriously ill, she asked Alex to give her rest in her homeland. He promised. He was alone when she was buried. Only the hired workers kept him company. Walking toward the exit, he noticed the familiar initials, Uncle Jack. The fence, all cleaned out, growing flowers of his favorite lilies of the valley. He decided to walk around the village. No one recognized him. So much time had passed. Alex reached the farmstead and was surprised to notice that it had grown larger. There were small children running around. A vaguely familiar woman shouted at them affectionately, and then he realized it was Lily. A man who looked like him when he was young came out of the house and said, "Mama must be tired. Go inside and rest." She laughed. "Come on, Sonny. I'm just happy to babysit grandchildren. Here Eli will come from work with your wife. Then I'll rest. My son's coming tomorrow. You pump up some fresh honey for your son-in-law, okay? Yes, mother, you're incorrigible. And your son-in-law is the best. And your daughter-in-law is the best." Lily smiled. "What about it? We're family." Alex never went near his ex-wife or his son. He was ashamed and hurt, for he was alone as a finger. And here was such a friendly family. He staggered back and almost ran to the bus stop. Already on the bus, tears streamed down his gray mustache. "Are you all right, Grandpa?" asked him a young girl. He shook his head. "Yeah, I guess so." She didn't understand, but she trailed off, and there was Lily before his eyes. Not the one he'd seen today, but the one he was leading to the wedding. Happy and beautiful. The birch trees slowly rustled in the wind. It is always quiet and peaceful here. Time will pass, and one hill will be completely unnoticeable. And a large marble monument with a photograph of the young woman will stand, because it is remembered by her family, who loved her and do not forget her.